Welcome everybody to the Emotional Support Animal Show, episode 17. We're excited to have you with us as we explore the world of emotional support animals and the difference they make in their handlers' lives. Each episode we talk to registered ESA handlers from the UK registry who share their personal journeys and how their animals support them and their unique bond they share. From uplifting stories to everyday insights, this episode is sure to inspire. Whether you're an ESA handler, considering one, or simply curious, you are in the right place. Just a quick note, I'm a volunteer hosting the show and everything I say reflects my own views. So sit back, relax, and let's get started with the Emotional Support Animal episode 17. Hi Amy, and thanks for coming on the show. To start with, could you introduce yourself and tell us a little about your emotional support animal? What kind of animal are they, their name, and what makes them unique to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm Amy. I live up in Lancashire. I'm mother of three, and I have a border collie that's next to me who's being camera shy at the moment. He is called Zeus. He's a black and white border collie with speckles, and he is, that's him as a puppy when we got him. That's 8 years ago now. He is now 8 years and 4 months old, and he obviously has been with me since he was a pup, as you can see in the picture when we first picked him up.
What first brought you to the idea of having an emotional support animal? Was there a particular moment or experience that made you realise this was something that you needed?
Yeah, there was. I was diagnosed a couple of years ago now with progressive sight loss, a retinal dystrophy that's similar to retinitis pigmentosa. And as my sight has reduced and as it's been affected more through the changes in light, I realised that last year I was really struggling with anxiety with travelling. So with reduced vision, I now have to scan an area to be able to see what I'm trying to find, if I'm trying to find a sign or what I'm looking at when the light conditions change. It makes it very hard. I can't read signs anymore because I need the right light to be able to see. And unfortunately, obviously with sight loss, it meant that I couldn't drive anymore. So what went from being a 25-minute car journey became an hour and 20 minutes on public transport with a bus and a train to get to and from work. So it was the anxiety of the travel and not knowing if a bus was coming, not knowing whether the train was going to be late or cancelled. The stress really built up, and I was really struggling to the point at which I was questioning whether I'd still be able to go into work and commute. And it was actually one of the managers at the office who mentioned that they'd had a guest in who had brought their emotional support animal with them. And it was like a light bulb moment. And I thought, if I could bring Zeus with me, then I would have a companion for those journeys. And I know how much peace and comfort and security and love that he offers me at home and when I'm with him. And I realised straight away that having that with me on those journeys would be able to offer me a distraction and keep me mindful and present in the moment so I wouldn't spiral into the anxious thoughts. And it was, I got on Google and found yourself. So it was wonderful at that point when I realised that I could register him and he could be my emotional support animal and come to work with me.
Great. Once your emotional support animal, Zeus, became part of your life, what changes did you notice first in your daily routine, mood, or sense of stability?
Oh, it's given me so much peace to know that I've got him with me. And even when there's problems with the public transport, I can take him, we can walk. So worst case, I'm still thankfully physically capable and physically able to walk him. So there's been days when we've literally walked to the town. It's an hour's walk, but it's just knowing that I have that backup and I have that option. So it's given me ultimate security really in knowing that I'm okay, whether it be waiting at a bus stop with him, I'm not alone in the dark, not being able to see. And it's wonderful that he connects me to the community, because when we travel on public transport, he's always looking to find a friend, and he's always looking to offer his love and support to anyone and everyone that we meet. And not everybody wants his attention, but he lights people up. And on our commutes, it's been wonderful just to see how much he brings to other people's lives as well as mine.
Can you share a memorable story when your Zeus was there for you during a challenging time?
Oh, there's been a couple of times where the train has been, it's very, for me, the particular stresses come around transport, as you can tell. And there's been a couple of occasions where I've not known whether there was a train coming or not. They tell you it's delayed, and then they tell you it's delayed, and then they tell you it's delayed, and then eventually you get on it, and then they cancel it. And in those moments, it's very easy to spiral and to grow in anxiety during that period. You don't know whether the train's going to run or not run. You're getting to the stage where you know you're going to miss the connection for the bus, which means you're going to be stuck for an hour waiting for the bus. And so it's all these thoughts, and having him with me is just amazing. And he, there's been times when they've eventually told me that it's definitely cancelled, but the next one's running. And instead of sitting there waiting and worrying, is the next train going to run, I'll take him for a walk. And it's absolutely wonderful just to have that presence with me and that energy from him.
What are some of your, what are some of Zeus's quirks or favourite things to do that always lifts your spirits?
Oh, he's so comical. He pulls the funniest faces. And yeah, when you can, if he wants love and attention and you give him love and attention, he literally will just pull just the funniest faces. It's wonderful. It's very, 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 it just lifts everybody's moods and lightens me up.
How has having Zeus influenced your relationships with friends, family, or even neighbours and the local community?
Well, I think, as I've said, everybody seems to be, if they're an animal person, and he is learning to respect people's boundaries, but if he is an animal, if people are animal people, he will always just ask them if they want some attention. So he's got a very subtle way of just nuzzling up to somebody or just edging closer to sit next to someone. And I've had some fascinating conversations with people on public transport that I would probably never have spoken to. And it's wonderful to sort of connect with people. And I think there's a lack of community perhaps in modern society, and to get a little bit of that back and talk to some really interesting people has been kind of the biggest surprise to me.
Have you run into any difficulties with housing, travel, businesses because of having an emotional support animal, and how did you handle those situations?
Yeah, I think it is difficult, particularly where I work. It's in a city centre. They don't allow dogs into the shops or cafes or restaurants. So when I take him to work with me, I always plan ahead. I take packed lunch. I know that we can go for walks, but I know that we can't go in anywhere. So it is restrictive, and I think that it's just something to be aware of, because not everywhere will allow an emotional support animal in, and so it's planning ahead for that. And the other thing is, obviously, I can't get in a taxi with him. Very few taxis where I live will transport dogs. You can contact them and advise them that you have a dog. You can tell them it's an emotional support animal, but they're not permitted for travel, or taxi drivers refuse to take you. So I think there is, it just requires a bit of extra planning just to make sure that you've got a backup plan and you don't get stuck.
Even explaining to the shops that it's a medical aid still won't let them in?
No, not in that area. I think it is very, very dependent on the people and the area and the shops and the brands. Where I live, the closest town where I live is a little bit different. There's quite a number of independent shops, and there are some chains as well who do allow dogs in. So it is much easier closer to where I live, but where I work, it's not, unfortunately.
As a medical aid, they're not allowed to discriminate against you for your hidden disability under the UK laws. So
Yeah, I think there's a bit of confusion. I understand that they all insist that obviously they will allow assistance dogs in, and I think they see assistance dogs as being the dogs that have gone through the qualification process, 6 months of training. They're supporting the direct medical assistance and sort of the guide dogs, hearing dogs, and I think at the moment there's still quite a difference in terms of perceptions and attitudes around an emotional support animal that doesn't require any training or qualifications versus those assistance dogs that have gone through that. And there's certainly a very different attitude to the two.
Mm-hmm. On the flip side, what's been the most surprising or unexpected way Zeus has supported you?
It's actually been how he's had the impact when I'm at work. So we have a small team in the office and a nice spacious office. We have a lot of guests coming in, and it's been how much he supported the team. So everybody in the office feels like he's their emotional support dog as well as mine, and the impact it's had on the team and how much they've welcomed him into the team, and he gets involved with all the team meetings. He joins us, he sits with us, he'll come into meeting rooms with us, and it's just how much, that's really surprised me, and it's been absolutely wonderful to see just how lovely that has been for the whole team and how much benefit he brings to everybody and how much joy it's everybody's been so positive and supportive. It's been lovely.
Of course, as we've just covered, many people misunderstand emotional support animals. Is there one misconception you would like to clear up for anybody watching the show?
Well, I think I've already mentioned about the difference between the trained sort of medical assistance dogs versus the emotional support animals. But I think there's still a misconception around emotional support animals just being pet owners who just want to take their animal with them somewhere for convenience.
Yeah, that's what we hear all the time. Yeah,
don't want to pay for someone to walk the dog for them, and it really isn't that. To be socially responsible, you have to put in the effort with your emotional support animal. You do have to ensure that they are trained to an extent that you can take them into these public spaces, that they are going to be able to interact with other people, and they genuinely are such a great source of peace and love and support, and they do bring such grounding and such value and to their handlers. And whilst people can see that I have sight loss now because I use a long cane, they are confused. They're confused by why I've got him and he's not sort of on a harness like a guide dog is. So there is a misconception around people are confused by that. When I'm out and about personally, they don't really understand why I have him with me. But for people that don't have something that is visible, it must be very, very difficult, because people do just think they just want to take their pet with them. And they don't necessarily understand, particularly if they're not animal people, how much value that animal can really add to that person in those moments when it is challenging to emotionally regulate yourself, because we all have them. Everybody who's human has varied emotions throughout their days as well as their life. And it's medically proven now that animals can offer that kind of therapy and that kind of support. So hopefully attitudes will change and people will realise that these animals do bring so much to their handlers and their owners.
Okay. From a personal health perspective, how does Zeus help you manage the specific symptoms of your condition or disability?
He really does ground me and keep me focused in the moment. And so he keeps me mindful. He stops me from spiraling when I'm getting anxious about things. And he's there for me. So when in the past I might have felt a bit down about getting, well, in that photo there, we got absolutely drenched at the bus stop for 15 minutes. And instead of standing there feeling sorry for myself and getting anxious about whether the bus was coming or not coming, I just looked at his face and I had to laugh, because he looked so sort of like, oh, we're out in the rain again. And this is what I mean about him being so expressive. He doesn't mind being in the rain. He's a border collie, but every now and again he'll just be very expressive, and it will distract me from my emotions and my feelings and cheer me up. And I've got him with me, and I can talk to him, I can give him a cuddle, and it has really helped me massively to have him. And the other thing with sight loss is he's actually helping me keep doing things and getting out. I think it's really easy when it gets harder to do those things, and it's harder to go out, and it's harder to see signs. It's harder to, at the moment I'm struggling knowing where my stops are to get off a bus, because it's the light transition from the light inside the bus it's dark outside now. And so physically as well, he's actually helping me in terms of how I live, not to the extent a guide dog would, but dogs are amazing, and how you can train them is wonderful as well, and they can learn to help you with tasks that you may not have considered. So he's helped me in many ways.
We sort of covered this a bit, thinking about your local area. How have businesses, public spaces or services responded to Zeus? Has some been more welcoming than others?
Well, thankfully where I work, we actually have an office within a council-owned building, which is why I knew, and obviously through my manager mentioning it, that they would accept an emotional support animal into the building. And they have been so welcoming. The building management at the council have been lovely, and the staff there all enjoy having him as well. And I'm always very conscious that I've taught him how to walk on a mat as we go through reception, because when I first took him in, I didn't think about all of these things, and he made muddy paw prints on the carpet when we first went in through the entranceway, and I was mortified and apologised to the cleaner. But the council have been absolutely lovely and really accepting of him. And like I said, I've now taught him to wipe his paws on the mat on the way in. But really outside of that, I haven't seen an understanding of the importance of these emotional support animals, and I haven't found that people are willing to treat them differently to a pet animal or a pet dog.
Sorry to hear that. If you've travelled with have you travelled with Zeus outside your area?
Oh, we have a couple of times taken him on little weekends away, and
okay. Well, sorry, I'm just asking first, but what was that like? Did you face any challenges, and were there moments that stood out that were especially positive?
Where we've been has been wonderful. We've been able to find sort of cafes or pubs where they were dog friendly anyway, so it wasn't that he was an emotional support animal, it was that we purposely found dog friendly locations to go to. We've taken him camping, and again in those sort of areas we found pubs and cafes to be very welcoming, and some of the local shops to be very welcoming in those areas that we've chosen to go to. But I think I've always been careful to ask people, can we bring the dog in? And I think maybe we just got very lucky that they were dog-friendly locations and places, rather than it being that he was an emotional support animal. But he's thankfully now, maybe it is because he's a dog, and maybe people with other animals that are emotional support animals might find their experiences different. But we are becoming much more dog-friendly, I think, as a country, in terms of there's many more places you can go to and take your dog, so very lucky.
What advice would you give to someone who is thinking about getting an emotional support animal, both about the process and about choosing the right animal?
I think choosing the right animal is amazing, like such an important thing to do. We were very, very lucky with Zeus, because when we got him as a puppy, he was chosen for us. We met him at a farm, and my children sat with him, and he was very calm and very loving with the children. And I spoke to the farmer at that point and said my situation with having the young children, and they specifically picked him for us. So it was quite a coincidence that he had been the one that had come and sat with the children, and he was the one they picked for us, because they'd already recognised that they didn't think he was going to be a farm dog and a working dog, and that he really loved and adored attention and children. So we were very, very lucky. He grew up with children. He has always had a very instinctive, calming nature. He's always been drawn to help people. So if a child fell over, injured themselves, he would go and sit with them, and he would naturally offer that love and that reassurance to a child. So we already had him sort of come to us with this nature. I think if you're going to choose one, it's important to look for those qualities and to look for an animal that can be socialized, that's happy to be socialized. We also have a cat who's an amazing emotional support in the house, but we attempted to get it used to going on a harness and taking it outside with us. And that was for my children rather than myself, although he offers amazing support to me as well in the house. But he would never make an emotional support animal that we could take out because he doesn't feel safe in the outside world. He could not be socialized. So it really is important to choose your animal based on what you want to be able to do with that animal. And I also think it's really important to consider, if you don't already have that animal, what the costs are of obtaining and looking after and caring for and being a responsible owner of an animal, because it is quite steep. And for somebody who is experiencing other hidden disabilities and the costs that potentially come with that, it's about the balance between what will that animal bring you versus would it add extra stress and anxiety for what comes with that animal. But there are hidden costs that you don't perhaps expect. So I would definitely say it's a decision to be made based on your personal situation and circumstances and weighing up the benefit to you, and then choosing the right animal for you and for the role that you want it to play in your life.
Mm-hmm. For those who already own an emotional support animal, can you give any tips to share about caring for the animal in a way that also balances your own needs?
I think really paying attention to what your animal is communicating with you through their body language and their expressions and their energy levels. And if you can be aware of them and where they're at, then you can offer back what they need. So for Zeus, I know that there'll be times when he wants to take himself off and just have a little bit of peace and a little bit of downtime and decompress from all the energy that he's absorbed from all the people that he's given attention to. And it's recognizing that and not forcing him into a situation at that time where it would put him under pressure, ask him to take on more than he wants in that moment. So I think it's really connect with your animal and really feel how they're feeling, and then balance what you need with what they need. If they need space, if they're trying to communicate with you that they need, Zeus will come and communicate with me if he needs to go outside for a break, and he's very good. He will try and show me through his body language, and if I don't get the message, he gives me one woof. And one woof means I really need to go out now, mommy. And so it's really building that bond with your animal. Spend the time to understand them.
Finally, if you could leave the audience with one message about emotional support animals, about their role, their importance, or what people often overlook, what would that be?
I would say, if you've never experienced it, just sit with an animal and understand how much peace, how calming, how grounding, how much love and companionship can bring to you, and the emotions that generates. And then imagine being in a situation where you are stressed, anxious, under pressure, and recognize that those feelings you have with that animal, how much that would impact you in those moments of stress and anxiety and pressure, and understanding that this is what these animals bring to their handlers every day, that they are working with them and supported by them. It makes such a difference to have them with you in those moments.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Amy and Zeus, for coming on the show. It's much appreciated.
Sorry, his appearance.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, photos. We had photos. Okay, everybody, if you have an ESA and would like to come on the show, please contact the Emotional Support Animals Registry UK, and they'll get hold of me and I'll organise that. And thank you to all those viewers watching the show. I have to keep saying the ESA show is volunteer hosted and independent from the registry, so all those views are mine. If I've upset anybody, please subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so. Hit the thumbs up, and of course share the video, link on your social media. And again, Amy, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.